Hello everyone. I thought I would show you something that I recently learned and think it's pretty cool. This little shape here is a sphere with a bunch of hollow circles in it and has sort of a cool look, and it's actually got pretty good topology if you take a look at it. It's got some triangles, but that's not going to hurt anything. So we'll go ahead and hide this object, and we'll create this from scratch. So what I did is I started by going up into Create and into the polygon primitives, and instead of a standard sphere, I went to the platonic solid, and I clicked on that. And by default, let's just take a look at what those settings are by default. You can see I left it at the setting for the primitive here, but I changed this to triangles. That's key here. And then you can change the subdivisions here if you'd like. I'm going to change them in afterwards after I'm done there. So let's just go ahead and hit apply, and there's our object. I'll go ahead into my attribute editor under the polyplatonic area here, and I'll just increase these subdivisions to, however detailed that I want it to be. I'll keep it something like that, a little bit different than my other one that I have. So great, we have this object. Now, how do I create all of those little circles? Well, the key thing is here is we're going to go into the face, and we'll select everything, right like that. And then we're going to do a bevel. So we'll go into our modeling toolkit and turn on our bevel. And you can see that we end up getting these little triangles with these quads, and then this n-gon that's in the middle. And you can control your fraction by how much or how big you want that circle to be. So, maybe I'll do, something like that perhaps, maybe even a little bit bigger. Excellent. We'll go with, let's try like 0.85 or something, right? Excellent. We'll go with that. And so, looks pretty cool, but, as we all know, n-gons are not a good thing to have. But let's keep working with this. So I'll just hit W to get out of that tool. And we could sit here and go all the way around and start to select each one of those, but that could take a really, really long time. And so we don't necessarily want to do that. So how can we select all of those easily? Well, this tool that I just sort of discovered in Maya, which was pretty cool, is found under the Select, and it is under the Use Constraints. So we'll go into here, and this allows us to select things based on different options, different constraints that we can choose. And the one I want to use here is the All and Next, and let's just actually reset this. So let's just disable all of those and deselect here. And so we'll say, okay, All and Next, and you see it selects everything, right? And then we give it constraints here. And the type of constraints that I want to do is I could say select all the triangles, and there's all the triangles, or I could do quads, or in this case, I want to say grab all of the n-sided, and that means anything that is 5 sides or more. And right there, that's what we're looking for. And so then I'll say close and reset, and what that'll do is it just resets all of these. Right? If I wanted to do this again, I would say close and remember. But I'm going to say close and reset, and it keeps all of those selected. And I'll go ahead and delete those. Excellent, right like that. And you'll notice that for some of these, I've got smaller ones. I think probably it has to do with the number of subdivisions that I started out with, but that's okay. Then all we have to do is select all of these polygons and go ahead and use our extrude again, and we'll find that, and we'll pull this out. And I'm just going to pull it out a small tiny bit there. I'll hit G. I'll pull it out to whatever thickness that I would like it to be, and then hit G, and then pull it out again so we get that nice strong edge, something like that. Excellent. So we'll go ahead now and click outside of this, go into object mode, and hit 3, and we see that we've got those cool sort of circles. And I sort of like this, like every once in a while we're getting this smaller one. I like that look. So we could apply textures to this. We could do all kinds of stuff to make this look super cool. Let's go ahead and throw in a new Arnold texture here real quick. We'll go ahead and do a AI standard surface shader. Make sure we can see this. Let's use a Arnold sky dome in here. And we'll put like an HDR image or something like that just so we can get some pretty cool reflections in here. And I'll just choose this off here. We'll go into my drive and grab an HDR. Right like that. Let's choose one with a lot of colors. Oh, something like this. Let's take a look. That looks fine. We'll use that one. And this is going to switch to raw for us. I don't want it to show up in the background when I render, but let's just see what we have so far. So we'll turn on our render. There it comes. And you see it's a bit dark, so let's just pause this for a second and we'll go into our sky dome. Let's first get rid of it out of our background, and we'll just take that camera under visibility and put that to 0. And we can see that that updates with it in the background. Excellent. And then let's just make this a little bit brighter. Let's try increasing that exposure maybe to 2. And let's see, that's a little bit better. And so we've got this sort of default plastic type of texture here. Maybe we could go in and change the texture here a little bit. Let's delete its history. Right like that. Go into this texture here. Maybe we could throw metallic on there. You see that looks super cool. We could do all kinds of different types of things here. We throw this, maybe get a little bit of color on there, something like that. Maybe get a little yellow in our reflections, just a cool little effect. Maybe bring a little bit more reflection into sort of that, and just different cool shaders that we can get with. So anyway, this just creates a funny little object, but oftentimes I get questions of how to get circular holes in a round object, and this is just one way that you could do that. All right, guys, have fun and happy rendering.